We're going to look at learning objectives A and B, and we're going to use contingency tables to compute percentages that involve categorical variables, and we'll talk about representing data using relative frequency or frequency in the contingency tables. So let's just start by looking at this example here. We have here, if you speak Spanish, French, or no language, and what grade you're in, and the counts with that. So this right here is what we call a frequency table because it shows counts. So that's what this is here. Question 1, what percent of students who spoke French were seniors? Now in this section, you want to be really careful. As you read the first part of the sentence, it's going to tell you the group we're looking at. So again, they want a percentage, so they're going to want a fraction. But of students who spoke French, that is the group we're looking at. So they are actually not looking at everyone in the table. So they're just isolating it, and they're looking at just this row. So of those that spoke French, so that first part is the bottom of our fraction, and if you total that up, there's 8 of them. Then the question is, how many of those were seniors? Of that, there was 1. So the answer here is 1/8. Okay. Question 2, what percent of students who were juniors, so we're looking at just the juniors, so now we're just looking at that. That's the bottom of our fraction, and that's 15. They took Spanish. That would be 5. And this would simplify to 1/3. So what we've noticed is what are contingency tables. We just saw one with the French and the Spanish. They're tables that divide outcomes among 2 or more categories. So before we were looking at what grade you're in and what language you spoke. Now we're going to switch gears and let's go to this Titanic example. So we're going to look at 2 or more variables. Here it's 2. We're going to look at if you survived or died the Titanic and what part of the boat you were on. And let's answer some questions. First thing they want us to do is calculate the total number of people who survived and the total number of people who died. So all you're going to do for the survivors are add these up. For those that died, add those up. So if you get out your calculator, there'll be 711 that survived. 1,490 died. If you total those up, there were 2,201 people on the ship. So let's look at question A here. They want to know, out of all the people on the Titanic, what percent survived? So you need to figure out for your fraction here, are we looking at everyone in the table or just a portion? And they just said of all the people on the Titanic. So that would be of the 2,201 people. What percent survived? Our survivors were 7 and 11. So if you do that as a percentage, it comes out to 32.3%. Question B, find the percent of passengers in first class. So I'm going to stop right there. That's the group I'm looking at. So if I look at all the passengers in first class, those are the people we're looking at. Of those, who survived? Those are our survivors. So for part B, we're going to do the 203 people. Now, you do want to total up this column here. This totals to 325. So we'll do it out of 325. If you compute a percent, 62.5%. The third question, find the percent of passengers who survived. So I'm going to stop right there. I'm just looking at those that survived. So for this one, for part C, we're looking at just the 711 people. And the question here, we're in first class. So that is 203. And you simplify as a percent, you're going to get 28.6%. Okay, continuing on with this data, let's look at another scenario. Question 1 here, which is greater? The chance that a survivor was a second class passenger or the chance that a second class passenger survived? So let's break this down because it gets a little confusing. So this first one, the chance that a survivor. So we're looking at just the survivors for this case. And in that one, it's going to be this row. So of the 711 people that survived, that they were a second class passenger. So that's 118. And that comes out to 16.6%. The next one, the chance that a second class passenger, so let's look at that. This column here actually totals to 285. We want to know that they survived. So that's going to be 118. 41.4%. So which is more likely, we can tell, scenario 2. Let's do some more with the Titanic. Out of all the people on the ship, what percent died? So now for part A, we're looking at everyone on the ship, and we had talked about that the total on this was 2,201. What percent died? So all of those that died was this last row. That was 1,490. This will be about a 68%. Letter B. What percent of passengers in third class, so there's our third class folks, actually died? So we are looking at those numbers here. So for this one, the total of third class is 706 people. Those that died was 528. The percent's about 75%. And then C, what percent of passengers in first or second class? So careful on this one, first or second class. So that's who we're looking at. This is the total, is all the people in those four groups. So the bottom of our fraction, if you total those four groups up, you're going to actually get, this will be 325 here. This will be 285. If we add those up, we'll just do 325 plus 285 on the bottom. Of those who died, so we're going to have the 122 plus the 167. If you simplify that fraction, we're going to get it's at about 47%. Let's switch gears and look at a different topic just for some more practice. So in 2001, the University of Texas at Southwestern examined 626 patients to see if there was a connection between getting a tattoo and this infection called hepatitis C. Here's the results in a contingency table. So what they did is for their contingency table, there are two categories. One is hepatitis or not, and the second category was where did you get your tattoo done or do you not have a tattoo? So part A just wants us to add the rows and the columns together. It's a smart first step, so let's do that. So there's our totals. Part B says, what does the total of the third column represent? So the third column is right here, and it's 513. So what that represents is, of the 626 people in the study, 513 did not get a tattoo. Okay, part C, what does the total in the second row represent? So the second row is right here. The total is 583. So that says, of the 626 patients in the study, 583 did not contact hepatitis C. Okay, let's look at letter D. According to the data, is someone with a tattoo done in a commercial parlor more or less likely to have HCV or hepatitis than someone with a tattoo done elsewhere? So they're looking at the tattoos done in a commercial parlor versus someone with a tattoo done elsewhere. And we're looking at someone is likely to get this hepatitis C. So you have to be careful on here. So the first question, tattoo done in a commercial parlor, they're looking at all the 52 people. So it's something out of 52. And the question is, you're likely to get hepatitis. That would be 17. And this comes out to 33%. Then the next one, someone with a tattoo done elsewhere, that would be the 61 people. And they did get hepatitis, so that would be 8. So this percent comes out to be 13.1%. So then answer the question, it says, is someone with a tattoo done in a commercial parlor more or less likely to have HCV? They are more likely to have it in this case. Okay. Last question, give at least one reason why the result in Part D might not affect the safety of each kind of tattoo. Well, the reason here is that there could be other factors involved. Maybe some questions we would want to ask about getting the hepatitis C in the commercial parlor. Are they cleaning their tools? If you're getting it done elsewhere, where else are they getting it done? Is it a clean, sanitary environment? Do they go through any regulations to make sure everything is all right? Who are the patients or the people going in to get these tattoos? Are they people that are at a higher risk for hepatitis C? There's just lots of different factors that could make these results happen as we're seeing.